Hi folks, here's a bit more help for finding out which way the force will be on a charged particle in a magnetic field. So we have a diagram here showing an electron moving from left to right, and the lines moving upwards are the magnetic field. So what we need in this case is we need our right hand rule. So let's try and fit my hand in sensibly here. Right, there we go. So getting this bit right is important. So we've got the thumb pointing upwards vertically, and I've got my first finger pointing forwards. So it's making like a gun type sound, gun type shape. Okay, and then my second finger here is pointing in the other direction at 90 degrees to the other one. So if we look from the top there, we can see the thumb is pointing up, the first finger is pointing towards, away from me, and the other finger is pointing to the left. So all three are in different planes, so Y, X, and Z. So you use this to work out which way the charge is going to move. So here's our diagram here. So the first finger, this one pointing away from me, is the field. So the field line is going up, so I'm pointing that in that direction. My second finger, this one here, is the direction of the negative charge using my right hand. Now you can see that this is pointing that way to the left. The arrow for the electron, a negative charge, is pointing to the right. So I need to twist my hand around here and turn it upside down so that my finger now is pointing in the same direction as the arrow, that way. My finger, first finger, is pointing upwards. Then when I look, my thumb here is pointing downwards. So the force for the top diagram there is into the page. Okay, remember there'll be one on each plane. So if you have up and down, as you do just now, then you can work it out. Okay, so first finger field that way, second finger direction of negative charge to the right, into the page for this diagram here. Let's have a look at the one at the top of the page here. So the first finger field is this way, going down the page. Second finger, direction of negative charge, is going that way, from left to right. And if we look at that carefully, we can see, let's have a look that way. So my first finger's field, my second finger's direction of negative charge is that way, and my thumb, if I look at it, is coming towards the camera, so that is out the page. Okay, so for the top one here, our force is out the page. For the bottom one, with the field going in the opposite direction, our force is into the page. Let's have a look at another problem. So with these here, they are three-dimensional pictures, and so sometimes we can have the field that is going in or out of the page. In this case, the magnetic field is going into the page. That's what the crosses are showing. It's like us looking at a dart or an arrow. The feathers would be at the back, so we would see the cross bit if the field is going into the page. So I've got my hand again. Okay, so thumb upwards, first finger, second finger. First finger field is going into the page, so I'm pointing down into the page like that. Second finger, you'll see at the moment the direction of negative charge. I've got it that way. You'll see the picture of the arrow is the other way. So I've got to turn my hand round so that my first finger is still going into the page, my second finger is going that way, and my thumb, you can see, is now that way, so the force is downwards. Let's have a look at another one here. So the same. Now we've got the dots. So the dots are representing the field coming out of the page. So my first finger is going to be pointing upwards. My second finger, the direction of negative charge, is indeed pointing that way. And this time my thumb is upwards. Now, rather than twisting your wrist round, which can be quite painful and difficult, it is possible to turn the piece of paper around to make it easier for you to do it as well. So if you're having problems, try approaching the screen or the piece of paper from the other direction. Okay, so far all our charges were negative charges, so I've replaced the electron with a proton. And let's see what to do here. Now you can still use your right hand if you want. So the first finger field, remember you've got your hand like this, thumb upwards, finger pointing that way, second finger that way. So the first finger field into the page, second finger direction of negative charge. Now we've got a proton, a positive charge, so this is going to point in the opposite direction to the arrow. So this is actually correct this time. We've got the proton indicated as going to the right, and so we're actually content with this one going that way. And so the force on the proton will be upwards. It is possible if you want. So it is possible if you want to use your left hand for positive charges. First finger field into the page, second finger direction of positive charge if you're using your left hand, and the thumb is the force upwards. So you can use left hand for positive, right for negative. Personally, I always stick with the right hand, say it's negative, and if it's a positive charge, then I'm going to be pointing my second finger in the opposite direction to the arrow that happens to be there.